We have rankings.
We have rankings.
No big surprise,
No big one.
but Oregon is the top-ranked team and the number 1 seed. That was just
so
announced.
we begin.
Here we go.
Georgia is number 2. No big surprise. They are the number 2 seed. So both Oregon and Georgia will get byes in their first 2 games.
Timmy's already got his pen going here.
Yeah, we're already jotting them in. Yeah. So
And,
Number 3 we expect to be Boise State. The Broncos get a bye. Unless they jump Arizona State over them after that big win.
Well, this is chalk. This is what we thought it would be.
Oh, we get 1. There we go. All right.
And the
So
bottom
they're
line
gonna-
is, this is. I'd like to see the rankings first. You know,
You don't want to see the seating first. You want
I
to see.
want to see the rankings.
Okay,
so
like they've done all
I
year.
guess I'm saying, like, if you're going to do it this way, what stops you from just saying, sure, keep and this is trying to build it into the model that already exists,
I know.
because reworking everything is ridiculous. But if you were just to say, okay, let's just play our conference championship games, let's today look at it, clean slate at everybody, who do you think your best 12 are? With everything we know, top 4, based on everything we've seen up to today, those are your top 4. I don't see the harm in doing that. They shoot themselves in the foot by all the pre-ranking and then having to justify.
yeah, it's the same conversation about, like, why do you come out with rankings at the start of the season?
Yeah.
You know, why don't you take that approach where you wait? It's what we see with the college football playoff rankings. They wait until halfway through the season, but some people look at the AP rankings and justify that. Well, we got Boise State that's
Number
on the board
3 now.
An interesting, Dom. They're ranked 9th, so they have the rankings on the left side. They
Yes,
have Boise,
they do.
so Boise
Yep.
State moves up a spot. They were 10 last week, so you wonder how that shakes
That's
up.
ridiculous, though, that they're 9th because of the whole conference stuff. It's just
We made the decision today that Dom's going to play the role of, he's going to be curmudgeoned. The old way was the better way. So we're going
Dane,
to play our parts
what's
here.
her ranking?
Dane is
9?
fully onto
You're going to see a lot of this
the
from Dom
ninth-ranked team
today.
and the ranking is now the number 3 seed, right?
It's a great win over
Arizona
UNLV, Dom.
State comes in at 4th. They are your 12th ranked team.
There you go. Does that make any sense?
It's interesting because that tells me that Clemson is now not going to be that 12 seed. So whoever likely gets that 6th game is probably going to play Clemson in 11. Although, where's SMU and Alabama at?
Can I say I love how you delivered that? Why don't we just make you the announcer guy?
yeah.
Let's just keep it. We'll keep the flow here. When they pick it, it's an AK announcement.
By the way, if folks weren't looking at this, some of the odds this morning versus SMU and Alabama, most of the odds makers had SMU as a pretty sizable favorite to be the team in the field over Alabama.
Which is different than Tuesday.
That's different. They were coming off at like a minus 350 to minus 390, and Alabama was somewhere in that neighborhood of a plus 250 to plus 280. So that tells you that some people out there really
I just
do
worry
think that
about
it's
the
SMU and not
Alabama
Alabama.
mistake. The Alabama mistake.
should be
I
SMU.
totally,
and they
I
turn
totally get
TVs
it.
on.
I totally understand that. And again, like if you're gonna imagine that how they are again, because I go back to it's 3 factors, and it's kind of you put them in a blender, and then what do you come up with? It's bad losses, it's really good wins, and then it's just who do you think is the best team? You know, throw a couple of those things out. Would you put a 3-loss team over a 2-loss team? I can
we'll
understand.
find out a lot.
I'm not going to argue. My bottom line with all this, and I know some people think that they are ruining college football with this, and as we watch it, I do come back to the fact that it's ridiculous that we won't just rank them 1 through 12 and then seed them that way, because that's how you get the best field and with the heaviest, best matchups near the end of your tournament. But like I am with college basketball, if you don't get in, I'm sorry, I'm not crying. Like if it's SMU that doesn't get in or if it's Alabama that doesn't get in, sorry, we
Timmy.
expanded to 12 this year and you didn't get in.
I'll say this.
It's AK's time.
Dom, you can take it if you want.
Well, Clemson's now in at 12.
Which
so.
tells me, if I'm SMU, I just took a big gulp. Because I don't think there is a world where SMU is in this bracket, but below or above Clemson.
Well,
they just lost to Clemson.
They are in mine.
It could just be how they're seeding the field then.
They
to
could
get
be
the matchups.
Texas is the 5 seed. They are the number 3 ranked team, so they
I
don't
will say,
move.
they
don't move.
How does that happen?
And that tells me
That's
a
how
lot.
I had them.
Well, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I'm feeling very good about how mine
Yeah,
matched up so
your
far.
conference championship does not impact anything.
This is how and there's a world where SMU is number 10. They just shifted them down
there
and
is.
didn't punish them.
So
I guess
here
we'll see.
we got our first game, guys. We got our first actual game. It's Texas at Darrell K. Royal Stadium hosting Clemson. That's a big time matchup.
That's an 8 o'clock game right there.
That to me is one of the first cool things that we get about going to this crazy 12-team field, that you get a Texas versus Clemson in the first round in Austin. I think that is pretty awesome.
I'll say this. Based off what we've seen so far, I think Ohio State's going to be the 8th seed. Because the fact that they did not move Texas for losing to Georgia at all. I mean, to have Texas ranked that high as a 2-loss team over 1-loss Notre Dame, I don't know. That tells me that the committee is sticking to the Dane Sanzenbacher way of thinking.
There they are.
And there they are.
Penn State.
The number 6-seeded Penn State. They are the number 4 team in the country. So Ohio State will be behind the Nittany Lions, we now know. The team that they beat in Happy Valley.
I told you I didn't like it, but I'm telling you, when it comes out, they're going to say that loss to Michigan hurt Ohio State.
And of course it did.
This is, and you got to realize, it's television.
It's phooey, dumb.
It's television.
Yeah, it's true.
Television.
So based off of what the committee said earlier this week, the teams that have not played or that are not playing cannot move. Notre Dame would then be ranked next.
Yeah.
Then
Notre Dame should come
then
in
Ohio
7.
State and then Tennessee.
Here's the thing that would be right, though. If we're going to talk about horrible losses affecting you, that is at least Michigan. It's at least Michigan in a game that everyone that's covered the game, and
Notre
here we
Dame
go.
at 7.
So this is what I'm talking about. Notre Dame has just an unacceptable loss. Like, you should not be that level of team. That's not losing to USC if you're Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If USC's not chalked up to what they should be, kind of like what they are this year, 500 team. They lost to Northern Illinois on their home field.
But it was earlier.
It was early, but I don't care. The whole season should matter. You're coming off a win over Texas A&M, one of your better program wins, and you lose to Northern Illinois, and so they don't get affected that much.
I think the argument still is, if there were mistakes made, they were made a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't think this week is the week that they want to correct them. And if they felt Notre Dame was properly ranked at 4 last week, then they've only bumped them down to make room for your conference champion, and they end up at 7.
So we expect to see likely Ohio State right here at 8 hosting Tennessee.
Ranked 6.
There you go. Ranked 6. The 8th-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes. They will host a game. I, for one, am a little bit frustrated because let's get rid of conference championships. We just watched all this football. It didn't matter.
Just say?
It did not matter one bit. It mattered.
It did not matter.
I guess it mattered for Oregon,
mattered
Penn
for
State,
Clemson.
and it mattered for Clemson. But
Arizona State and Clemson, they get in, obviously.
But apparently,
so
the committee is their job is to sit down at the end of the day and push teams together and say, how do they stack up? The idea that you're going to say, well, I'm not going to compare Ohio State and Penn State because Ohio State didn't play this week. I don't know. I have a problem.
Seeing the way this is going right now, Alabama or SMU?
Alabama. I don't think there's a chance where SMU gets into this playoff.
Yeah, I think SMU is coming. Well, I think we're getting Tennessee, SMU
at 10.
Well, yeah, wait, no, I'm sorry. Because, yes, they're not going to penalize SMU for the playoff championship. I'm sorry. I just went against everything I said. Yes,
I don't see a world where they let Alabama in.
I said that backwards.
Notre Dame should be sending thank you notes to the service academies this year for those teams being a little bit better.
Yeah, being ranked.
Just to pump up their overall schedule. Because, I mean, USC certainly wasn't good. And there you go. There's the Tennessee Volunteers ranked 7th, and they'll be in that 8-9 game.
With a high
at the Horseshoe. At the Horseshoe. That's a big-time game.
I'll tell you
what.
My
goodness.
I think everybody's going to get their dream of a night game in the shoe. And what does that set up for the Buckeyes if they can get through that? Welcome to your rematch
with
Oregon.
Dom and Adam.
Probably in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably in the Rose Bowl.
Learn how to say Ia Maliava, right?
Oh.
So then we
Dom,
should.
good luck with that one.
Yeah, Nico Ia Maliava.
So then we should see SMU, I would guess, going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, so here you go. You're going to find out SMU or Alabama right here, aren't you?
Yep. I think it's Alabama.
No,
you're
we have to wait one more. Yeah,
no, you're not going to get it here.
I think it will be SMU because they've said so far that the conference championship games do not matter. They cannot penalize you other than earning you that bye, earning you a top 4 seed.
And I'll tell you, I don't mind that.
Dane, I can't stand it.
Then what? Then
Indiana's going to be coming next, right?
If it doesn't matter, why play it? Why risk getting someone hurt?
Yep. I mean, SMU could have sat out yesterday. Penn State could have sat out, taken a bye week.
You're going to get the battle for Indiana, aren't you? You're going to get the Hoosiers going on the road. Is that what we're about to see here?
Driving up.
Wouldn't you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get the battle for Indiana, Bloomington and South Bend.
I like that. All right,
we're still waiting on these last 2 teams to fill out
But Ohio State
field.
and Tennessee, we now know. That's a Tennessee team that is scary.
7's taken on 10.
Right. Yeah.
So
7,
I don't.
10.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Indiana.
So there it is.
Indiana, Notre Dame. So that's an in-state game.
But but here's what is interesting though. They just had Indiana jump SMU.
They
right?
did. They have Indiana at 8.
Because Indiana did not play.
Indiana did not play.
And
So they did
technically,
penalize
they
SMU.
did penalize SMU for losing. That throws everything out the window. Because if you were not going to penalize them,
I'll be shocked if
There
it's
was-
not Alabama.
I think
that
it's
makes
SMU.
me think it very well could
think
be
it's SMU.
Alabama.
No, now you're
you
flipping.
can't, you
No,
can't
because
stick to the mindset that it doesn't matter and
But
then change on
that's
one team.
They do what they want.
Exactly.
If
because
Alabama,
that says one thing.
If Alabama's in this bracket, I'm walking off set.
Let me ask you a
if
question.
they would have
Which
said-
program has more panache?
It's not about panache, Dom. I don't even know what panache
I'm
means.
saying,
You can't
Dom,
put them
up
in.
until this point, they stayed exactly, and we're not going to penalize you, but you can bump down. But that little wiggle room they just gave by saying Indiana did not play, but SMU fell below them when they were ranked above them the week before, says you did penalize them.
If
This
they do
will
the
be
right
really,
thing, they take
really
SMU.
interesting.
If they do the right thing.
Do the right thing, committee.
Come on, committee, do the
Come
right
on.
thing. We are awaiting the final team in
Come
the
on,
12-team
do
college
it for
football
Eric
playoff
Dickerson. Let's
right
see
here.
Pony Express.
Whoever
in
it
this
is
thing.
will go on the road to Happy Valley to play 6-seeded Penn State, which either Alabama or SMU. It's going to be.
I
interesting
like
to see.
these southern schools having to come up
I know.
north now.
The only-
for every bowl game you would go down and play them in their home stadium. Now they get to come up here and see what winter in Ohio and Pennsylvania is like.
The
Well,
only
we only have one example of that, right? Tennessee coming up
Tennessee.
here. Yeah.
Well,
Unless you see Bama
Clemson-
going to Penn State.
Oh yeah.
SMU's not exactly the north either. You know.
We are awaiting the final.
That's
final
true.
one. Final thought. You think it's Alabama?
I think it's Bama.
I think it's SMU.
SMU.
Who do you think it is?
Now I think it's Bama.
All right.
I don't see any other reason you would put Indiana.
It is
SMU.
SMU. All right,
They did the right
Alabama.
thing. They did the right thing. Ooh. I don't think-
Alabama misses the first 12-team college
I
football
think Nick
playoff.
Saban's not going to be happy.
Wow.
You
wow.
know?